Right.
It's been such a long time since Boston led the way. It's more than a feeling. It's Mike and Tom to start the day. The heart of Massachusetts should be freedom, justice, and liberty. Freedom led pilgrims to Plymouth Bay. Salem trials had justice too late. The sons of liberty spilled the tea, and then the redcoats spilled their blood. The shot heard around the world rang out from the Bay State. Boston strong and ready to defend. It's where revolution started and ends. It's been such a long time since Boston led the way. It's more than a feeling. It's Mike and Tom to start the day. Quincy Market, Freedom Trail, Charles River, Boston Harbor, Bunker Hill, Griffin Wharf, Fenway Park, Omar Charge. It's been such a long time since Boston led the way. It's more than a feeling. It's Mike and Tom to start the day.
Hello, hello, hello. Grant,
Hello,
can you hear
Tom.
me, my friend? There you are.
Hello, Tom.
How are you today?
I'm well. How is everything with you?
You look good. Wow, look at you in a tie.
I'm a towel and a
I
tie.
would have done the same.
I'm a towel and a tie.
All right, we like that. That's a good look, Grant. I like that. Listen, you've
Thanks
been busy lately, huh?
Yeah, I'm eating some chicken right now, but yeah, a lot going on. I'm sure your audience is like, well, this is a good time for Grant to come on here because this last 24 hours, it seems to just never stop, which is true.
And it's getting so encompassing. There's no other word I can say, but it's all around. And you know, real quick, I have to give a shout out to the juror, the lead juror in the Karen Reed trial. The one that sat there that took absolutely zero notes through the entire trial. Do you know why he didn't have to take a single note? It just come in my ear earlier by somebody. I never got it until now.
I don't know. Tell me.
Do you know why he didn't take any notes? It makes all the sense in the world, Grant. Remember trial 4?
Trial 4? I hope there were not 4 trials. Otherwise, I missed 2 of them.
No, the Boston cop that got shot over there, and they pinned it on that guy, and he just got freed.
Not off the top of my
Sean
head.
Ellis.
Oh, right. Yes. Okay. I don't know a lot about that case, but I've read a little about it. Yes.
But wait, Grant. Guess who did know a lot about that case?
I don't know.
Juror number 1. And guess what juror number 1 did?
Tell me.
He didn't need a photographic memory. He sat there and he said, oh, this is going to be great. Because right off the bat, they're lying. 2, they're lying. 3, they're pinning it on someone else. He knows. He'd already lived through it with that whole Sean Ellis thing. Think about it. He got exonerated, right?
Why did he live through it? What do you mean? You mean like he read about
that culture in the same? I think he grew up in the same area.
He
would have known about this guy that got imprisoned for. He didn't do nothing. The guy was home, right? So as these kids are growing up, they're being told, listen, just because of your color, they're gonna come after you. Just heads up, always question authority. And they weren't wrong. Look at us, Grant. Think about it. If this guy, right, was involved, or if this guy knew about Sean Ellis, and then he became a juror on this trial, and they put him as lead juror, he's just gonna sit back and say, all right, they're lying, they're lying, they're lying.
What about the first foreman from the first trial? Did you hear what came out about this guy? Remember how many questions people had about him and Lally? Speaking of exactly what you're talking about.
That's kind of how we're going to dovetail into this. How they said Fanning wasn't in charge of anything in the first trial. Remember that?
Yeah, and they also said Fanning wasn't connected to a lot of people who I now know he is connected to. We can talk about Stephen Verano, the search of Karen and Aiden's phone. This whole thing was a clusterfuck. And Tom, let's talk about this. We were there on the ground as hostile, as friends, as just neutral parties at certain points.
And throughout all aspects. Real quick. You know, you and I haven't always agreed, but that doesn't mean you and I don't respect each other. There's a difference between the two things, right? Like, I'll give you a great example. Like Erica Walsh, me and her don't agree on certain things, and that's okay. We don't have to. We're two adults. But I'll tell you one thing. I respect what she did every single day after the first trial when there were hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people all over the place, not organized, not anywhere, littering the place up every single night. Erica she was the last one to leave. She'd have a big ass trash bag full of trash. And she'd walk and she'd pick up everyone else's cigarette butts off the ground. She left that place cleaner every single day than it was when we got there that morning, because she's usually one of the first people there in the morning.
Yeah. And I'll tell you, Tom, I don't think people see it. I don't think people see it.
Grant, unless you were there, you wouldn't have known what we did. If you weren't there, you missed all that. The second trial is nothing. The second trial was burnout. We're all burned out.
It was like I was trying to tell people during the first trial when I slept overnight there. It wasn't like Kate's people. It wasn't Kate's people checking on me. It was the guy with the dog from the Free Karen Reed people.
Yep. Tim. Yep. Nathan the dog. They always come and check. But Grant, that was just one person. You had 300-400 of those types of people out there looking out for each other. There wasn't a skin knee that I remember. The worst thing I remember to happen is Carol Kelly was running in the parking lot in the Registry of Deeds in her bare feet. I think she stepped on something. But, I mean, she runs in bare feet all the time, so.
Well, there are occupational hazards. People would bump into poles. Things happen.
Yeah, that too. A couple people took diggers. But Grant, you and I know that's part of the deal. Like the scrum after, people have no idea about the scrum. Remember, like how it would get. It happened
to the Channel 5 cameraman, the Fox cameraman. Like if you don't know,
has absolutely devoured people. Remember how many times people get hurt in that?
Even if you do know the whole route, you still you're walking backwards. You are focusing on Karen. You're not focusing on what's behind you. You have to trust that the person guiding your shoulder is taking you the right way. It's like a trust exercise. People don't think about it, but it's really hard to be in that scrum.
And the thing is it's okay, right? When it's open at a certain size, but when it grows to a certain size, then that whole thing just collapses. So like, instead of being able to walk, now you can't walk. Now it's an issue. Now you can't, it's like the scrum almost stops people. Like it stops that forward movement. And within that, you know how many times I've been smacked in the head with a camera? Like it happens. It's but
my only goal was to never make contact with Karen, which I accomplished. Like, I don't care if you're pushing me from behind, like don't push me into Karen. And that's the one thing people were pretty good about. Like if they said, give Karen some room and let her walk. Like no one pushed into her, but the rest of us, it was like chaos.
Yeah. Well, think about it. I mean, we're on the cusp of one of the largest, most corrupt type of a thing they're trying to throw down our throats.
Yeah, and it got so much bigger. I mean, Tommy, it's where we're going today.
Oh no, Grant, you and I had this talk. We knew how big this got. Grant, you're talking about all the things you're talking about is correct, but you're hitting on all the little peripheries. You're connecting on the outside circles. It's the inside circle that runs the show that you and I know, and we spoke about that before.
We talked throughout, and I mean, I don't know, Tommy can attest to it. It's not like at any one point I was like, oh, Tom, I looked at this and I totally see all you're saying. I was like, hey, Tom, like, doesn't this like strike you as weird? I'd bring up some question about like Tully or like Kate, and he'd be like, Grant, like, I think you should keep asking questions about that. Tom was never like, and like that means this, or you have to feel this. He was just like, you should keep looking. And then like 2 years later, all right, a lot of the stuff, I don't think all the stuff I now know, Tom, even like, I think you'll admit this, anyone on the ground knew. No one knew everything.
No, we could. And Grant, if we did, you wouldn't be able to absorb all of it. That's kind of the problem, is there's so much coming out. Like we can't even put it together. I saw a post this morning. It just friggin' blew me apart. And I'm going to show you. This is absolutely true. Here we go. Well, what's up with this freaking email?
Oh, Tommy, listen.
Grant, this is wrong, dude.
Oh, they're
on every level. There's no way that's right. Ever. It cannot happen, Grant. You know this.
Yes, and we got to go back to that initial. You can find it. You can find it on my feed too. We'll get to this email though. September 29th, 2023. Email report from Catherine Peter, to Yuri Buchanan about what, Tom? The O'Keefe motor vehicle homicide. Now, why is this such a big deal? Because I made a post about it when I found it. It wasn't turned over till November of 2025. I tagged Mr. David Yannetti, who, as you know, is very cordial with me. He's a very good guy.
Stop. Time.
Go ahead.
Why the fuck is Yuri talking to someone that lives in Attleboro that wasn't even in the county at the time the accident happened?
Yeah, and we can bring it up, Tom. I know it will take because you'll have to go to my feed and find it, but I have the document, and you will see.
That's like me calling Delahunt and say, "Hey, Billy, listen, bud, this is how it has to be. Make it happen. Click." No. Again, Grant, there are certain things in place for that not to happen.
Yeah, and I sent over the link. You will see that the big deal about this, it's even bigger than just Kate was doing this with Yuri. On Karen's case first through Marty Kraft's PI firm, it's that they never turned it over to Karen during either trial. I tagged Mr. David Yannetti in this when I first figured this out, because this didn't come out in discovery in Aiden's case until November 2025. He reposted it. I'm right. They kept it from Karen. Karen could have called Kate about her relationship with Jen McCabe.
Come on up, lady.
Michael Morrissey was sending himself emails with links to Kate's private Discord. The witnesses had a private Discord, Jen McCabe and others, that they were on during both trials, and then Kate deleted it.
No, Grant. You think Discord doesn't do nightly backups?
Discord's one of the, yes, if you are a person on the server and you get a backup, but Discord's one of the few platforms that doesn't keep those kind of records. If you delete a server, it's gone.
I'm not too sure about that, Grant.
That's why people use it, Tommy. It's like
no. Listen, they use Signal too.
I know, but Signal is different because there's a back door.
Grant, two different. I know. It was built with the door in it. I get it. Nope.
Yeah, because they wanted Pegasus to be able to access it.
Yes.
But Discord is different because the way that its servers are done is they're user-side standalone instances. It's a peer-to-peer thing.
I have a piece of the software. I know.
But you know what I'm getting. You know what I'm getting.
I know exactly what you're getting at. Yes. Yeah. But again, right? The district attorney is communicating work purposes now. Doing work on a whole nother burner email. And then he's on Discord servers that are getting deleted. And
they're hiding it. So people have been asking me, so what, not just the Karen cases. Okay. That is a huge deal, but in Aiden's cases, why is it such a big deal that Kate Peter was not just working with the prosecution, but coordinating the prosecution and the collection of evidence that was presented to the grand jury?
I gotta interrupt you. Bud.
Go ahead.
Welcome back, buddy. Woohoo! What up? Look who the cat
Hey, can
dragged
you hear me?
in. Hey, what's up? Uh-oh. He's gonna you
Can you hear me?
beard? Yeah, we can hear you good. You hear good. Yeah. Yeah, we hear you great. We hear you, Mike. I think his output, he hasn't turned his computer on in a while. I think your output has to be set to the microphone, the headphones in the settings, the StreamYard. I think.
He might not be able to hear us.
All right. So, Grant, listen real quick, right? While Mikey's working that out, right? I was thinking about this, right? I kind of want everyone to clip this, okay? So, I'm going to give you 2 questions, okay? And I'll tell you both of them. One in 60 seconds, can't be longer. I want you to explain, who is Karen Read? Who is she? And then the second question, what happened to her? And it doesn't got to be like speed fire, but for people that don't know, people that watch the Lifetime special and was like, what's this about? There are still new people coming on. And for those new people, if we can give them a 60-second clip, let X clip it and send it out and do whatever they want with it. But it gives us the time to also at least put a marker down right now and say, okay, we're right here today. This is where we're at. Make sense?
Yeah, so in 2022, January, Karen Read was a middle-aged financial analyst in Boston and a professor at Bentley University. She was dating a Boston police officer named John O'Keefe. They went out for drinks on the night of January 28th, morning of January 29th, 2022. John passed away. Karen, after a strange series of events, was charged with John's murder. Eventually went through 2 trials, and after the second trial was acquitted on involuntary manslaughter and second-degree murder, but found guilty of OUI. Now, as a result of John's trial, Karen has become someone in the national discourse who, because of the Free Karen Read movement and the work of Turtle Boy, sort of centered a discussion about the way police can interact with powerful witnesses and keep evidence from the public in a way to sort of cover up misconduct. And then, you're back. And then to finish it off, Karen gave an interview with Rotten Mango's podcast the other day where she said from the beginning she knew the state police unit covered up Sandra Birchmore's murder, basically, and she was worried they'd do it to her. So that's Karen Read, someone who stumbled onto a network of power that I don't even think the most critical mind could imagine, and brought it to the public attention, suffered for it, but built a movement and political connections that allowed her to get through it. That's how I describe it.
Now, with that all said, she's been through 2 different trials, at least right now. She's going through her 3rd trial now. So she's perpetually always seeming to be in court. That costs money. If you feel like you would like to donate to her defense fund, please go donate. She's definitely going to accept it. Let me see if I can get Mikey back up here. And she's got to fight that fight. And, you know, Mikey, we hear you. Mikey. Mike, can you hear me? He's playing with his mute button. We hear you clicking away, bud. The outputs. Let me send him a text.
I feel like this is a moment of high anticipation.
Yeah. I should have stopped by. I didn't get a chance. So here we are, Grant, right? And it just gets more wild. People watch the whole Karen Read trial, right? And when we watch it on TV, it's completely different. So anything we see is gonna be different. The problem is now you're actually showing people how the sausage is made. You're showing what happened. behind the scenes to even bring Karen Reed in front of a judge to begin with. And Sandra Birchmore didn't get that chance. And you know what? I'm sure there are others. As I said, this went too quick. This went too smooth. They knew each person had a role. They knew who to call, when to call. It's not like they haven't done this before. They've done this many times, I'm sure. You know, it went off without a hitch. It has to be, you know.
Well, what really spoke to me about it is when I found out that Marty Kraft, the PI, former Boston cop who knows Brian Albert, knows Kate Peter, etc., knew John and John's old partner. And John's old partner was on the show with Brian Albert. This was personal for them.
Tell people what happened to John's partner.
John's partner, I believe, lost his life. So I know less about John's former Boston cop partner than I do about John's sister and her husband, but I believe he died tragically. I don't know if it was in the line of duty, if you want to refresh me, but it was a very sad circumstance.
Yeah, he was a father to be by one of the Sullivan sisters, I believe.
That's right. That's right.
Hence why they were in Aruba. John knew his partner was struggling and was headed over to the house when he heard the gunshot. And his partner passed away.
That's right. Very sad.
After that, I think they took John off the streets and put him in the sexual offender unit, where he put bracelets and ankle monitors on the child predators or whatnot, you know. So,
yeah, I knew he worked in that unit, and that was very honorable. I didn't know why. I figured he, wanted to protect the most vulnerable, but also I didn't know he had that experience. I knew his partner had died. That's very tragic. John, the more you learn about John O'Keefe's life, the more you just cannot help but see him as a very honorable man around maybe some not so honorable people, because he just was surrounded by trauma, and he kept like going and doing the right thing very like quietly. Like he wasn't like
he wasn't loud about it. Right. Yep. Absolutely true. And you know what messes me up? They say John left with the glass, all right? I don't know about that, Grant. And I'll tell you why. John drank beer. He was a beer drinker. I don't see him drinking the hard stuff that Karen drinks.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't drank since like 2009 or something.
You're not missing anything.
Yeah, I don't. Alcohol's not my thing, but I like cannabis. But the point is, because I'm a medical patient, the point is, I don't know. Like it was late in the night. Maybe he was just like, I remember him like kind of drinking one of the drinks that was like left as they went to leave. But hold on, Tom. What else has come out this past month? Right in February of 2022, right as this all happens, why is a PI firm retained by a witness, Jen McCabe, to see who's going to Karen's house?
Why is a PI firm involved in anything to do with Jonathan O'Keefe?
Well, you can hire so here's the, let's just.
Oh, so what? Proctor, and Colleen Buchanan and Fanning, but they're not capable of the job? Simple hit and run, right?
Well, so more than just that. If we were just talking normal course, there's nothing wrong with a defendant hiring a PI, right? There's nothing wrong with a prosecutor hiring a PI because they disclose it. That's the whole point, right? Like everybody plays by the rule. Mm-hmm. What's weird is we're in a prosecution where Michael Morrissey ends up asking the legislature for extra money and can't get it. You have a witness paying for a PI firm, a witness getting information from their victim's advocate, Steve Nelson, about the grand jury before it was public, being called detectives. That leads me to believe, Tom, that this was not disclosed, which we know it wasn't.
No, it wasn't.
Karen never got to ask about it. They deprived her of a fair trial. And it speaks to something else, because when we get to Aiden, that same PI firm hires Kate Peter and investigates Aiden Okay, now you have to
Yep.
wonder, was Jen McCabe coordinating the prosecution during a case in which she was a witness?
Hey, they followed me. They left a packet on my cards. Yeah, Dina was talking about people going to her house. I mean, come on, people. Really? That there's such it's come on. Who
Well,
got time for that? But they
and
did.
they did.
They used a printer, and I can't tell you where the printer came from. But when you print a picture nowadays out of a printer, instead of the line, it tells you the date, time, blah 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 blah. The bottom of the print, they embed that in a Unicode that's inside the picture now. So when they printed the picture, they didn't strip the Unicode out. So I know the
Of
place
course, and
in
and
the picture it came off of.
that's a classic way to catch people. I mean, that's like
Right.
what the feds do. If you print something,
Yeah, I didn't
it's
want
not
to
the
say much about it, but
well, you did. It's
Yeah,
out there now,
out
but it's
there,
on. It's on. It's not the paper. It's that the printer. And by the way, not every Tommy. You really want to get into it? Not every printer does this. There's a certain
no,
models that don't do
right.
it.
The newer ones do. They all
Almost all of them have an agreement with the government because
that's why you can't get into that. There's certain spots in that printer I cannot access. Even
It's
with
not
the
just-
administrator code, it's built in past my authority to get
And
in
it's-
to make that printer do what it has to.
And it's not just that. The codes Tom's talking about are on that the printer renders. Normally, you wouldn't even be able to figure it out, but the public has put together this database, so yes, you can figure it out. So there you go. But I want to keep going with this, Tommy, which is there is no way that this should have been happening, but at a bare minimum, it should have been disclosed. And then for the revelations to come out first, that September 29, 2023 report about Karen was withheld. And then for it to come out that Kate Peter also sent a February 14th, 2024 email to Ken Mello about keeping Aiden in jail on dangerousness, also not disclosed. And then the one that you pulled up, where we now have affirmative proof that Kate Peter in 2023 was helping Jen McCabe put together evidence that Tully and Mello submitted to the grand jury. And that is damaging because it's clear Kate Peter, to avoid being called as a witness, deleted the 2024 indictment Google Drive links that she had sent to Tully. They thought by no processing that case that Kate was never going to be involved. And then the koala, because he worked himself into a shoot. I told him I was baiting him because I found out the koala was pretending to be Free Karen Reed, and actually he's anti-Free Karen Reed and knows Kate. Posted this because he didn't know what he was posting. It's evidence of Kate not only editing Aiden's videos to compile for Mello and Tully to submit to the grand jury, it has a new email address for Brian Tully no one has ever seen before, which can be used for FOIAs now. And
Right.
It proves that Kate was involved as a member of the prosecution team on the 2023 indictments, which are the only ones still open and the only ones that could possibly go to trial before Adam Deutsch comes in as DA. It's bombshell.
So question now, right? Does Aiden's attorneys have this email? Because if they requested discovery, they should have this amongst their pile of stuff. If they don't, that's a whole nother reason to get Aiden, to have him drop the charges on Aiden.
Yeah,
With
so
prejudice there. That's in front of us, Grant. That right there shows the only reason why Aiden's got charges because of Kate. That's it.
And it has other consequences because it also impacts whether Kate was what's called subject to the standard of government agency. And that means whether a private citizen.
She's acting as an agent.
Yep, and it means whether a private citizen through instruction of the government or passive acquiescence and with a primarily law enforcement purpose was collecting evidence or participating in the investigation. It has two consequences. One, the Fourth Amendment, where the exclusionary rule attaches. You can't search things without a warrant. You can't send Meredith to be Aiden's girlfriend and then have her steal his phone extraction and the recording of Karen and Aiden and then release it to Kate to divide Karen and Aiden. If Kate is working for the government, that's a litany of violations, invasion of privacy. When they did this in the UK with environmental activists, all the activists who had fake people in their life pretending to be their romantic partner and to spy on them sued and won in the UK.
Right.
But anyway, that is the exact kind of thing. If Aiden was not, say it was in discovery and Aiden didn't understand the full context. That's one thing. If it wasn't in discovery and this was just Koala getting emails from like Kate or something to release them, that's the biggest unforced error I've ever seen in my entire life.
We're looking at it right now. Wow.
Proves that Kate was a material participant. Forget about the witness. She became a witness without this email based on some of the other stuff I just told you. This is very clear evidence that she was participating in the prosecution. She has open felony charges in Norfolk County that the Norfolk DA tried to not recuse himself on so he could give her a plea deal that the judge wouldn't accept because Lauren Murray via Tim Bradle objected. I was there. You were there.
I was there. I was the one that told that was with Lauren. And when we called the court officer, that girl's in violation. She's got to go. And what do? They put her around the back door and put her inside. Listen, Grant, you know what this means? The big picture here. It means every single judge that signed off on this is corrupt. Every single judge who's been involved in this is corrupt. How can they let this go? No. You can't let this go. This is Grant. It's in front of us. You can't deny it.
I agree, but here's what I'm saying is, Tom, there's a difference between what the prosecution was turning over and what we find out. For example, no one, not Aiden's lawyers, not Aiden, not the judge would ever have known about Ken Mello's email with Kate Peter from February of 2024 unless Lindsay Gattani released it.
Right. And again, right? That whole thing. Talk about ruining someone's life just to get somebody else. They don't care. How is she doing, by the way?
Well,
okay?
she was on a space the other day, and I thought she was speaking very eloquently about how you can listen to some of her quotes. She was basically saying when she heard Karen say on the Rotten Mangoes interview that Karen knew about Sandra Birchmore, that Karen was worried that they were going to do that to her, Tully's unit.
Yep.
Lindsay said she identified with that in a very strong, visceral way, which shows you everything you need to know about this, which is that anyone that got too close to knowing what Tully's unit and Jen McCabe and all them were up to got targeted by Kate and her minions. It's Lindsay now. It's me. It was Karen. It was Aiden. Anyone still going after these people is not a free Karen Reed person. They're not a Turtle Boy person. They are a Kate person. They're trying to divide the movement, which is what Lindsay said, to avoid the focus being on the hidden discovery, the Sandra Birchmore cover-up, Kate's role as a potential witness, and why Aiden's charges are likely to go away because Kate's involvement is now being exposed.
I have a real quick question. Did Kate know Lindsay before any of this?
No, Lindsay's told this story. She approached an account on Twitter because she started to have questions about what was going on with Aiden. And then that account happened to be one of these like moles for Kate. And Kate, they fed her right into this, and Lindsay became an unwitting honeypot. Brian Tully and them were like, Jen McCabe, when she met Lindsay for the first time, like said, you have to be sorry. If you were really sorry, you'd testify against Aiden. Because they used her. They were like, we can't tell Lindsay she's going to be involved. She might eventually like feel this is morally improper. Let's use her as a honeypot. Let's give her a subpoena. Let's make Aiden, go over there. Let's wind him up and see what happens.
It's funny. And that's exactly the mission accomplished. They've used his personal life as a weapon against the poor guy, his own life against him.
And counterpoint, I want people to be very sympathetic to Karen and Aiden because I think it's very possible. It was like Karen realizing that she was up against a very dangerous group of men in the state police unit and their friends. And so she needed Aiden's help. Do you think she said to Aiden, hey, by the way, Aiden, I'm worried they're going to hang me from a door? No, she was like, Aiden, you want to go after these guys? I bet he figured out halfway in. Oh my God, these people are terrifying. Okay, well now it makes more sense.
I think Aiden knew that going in to a point. I don't think he understood how deep it was.
No one would, even me. Who would? Exactly. Who the fuck would?
You can't. You couldn't script this. You couldn't write this. It's great. It's so much, right?
It is a lot, but it also all ties together by virtue of the fact that, like, this network of cops, Stoughton, Canton, Yuri Buchanan, John Fanning, going from the Stoughton police to MSP, the cover up. Who is the father of Sandra Birchmore's baby? Is Farwell cooperating? The obstruction trap, where clearly the feds were seeing what Jen McCabe would remove from discovery before turning it over to David Yannetti and Karen's legal team. The rolling subpoena, the federal subpoena on David Yannetti's case file. The Michael Proctor situation, where clearly in the summer of 2025, he lied, his lawyer lied to the judge in the Miles King case, those cases, the Dos Santos, etc., and said, hey, my old phone was gone in November of 2024. My new phone auto deletes every 30 days. 3 months later, 12 years of his phone records drop, and he drops his appeal, and Deutsch runs for Norfolk DA. Obstruction trap, RICO predicate offense.
Thank you,
Birchmore.
Yep. That's the way in. But Grant, you and I know that they didn't need that, Grant. What they already know has already triggered that RICO. Like,
yeah, but there's something here about why on March 7th, 2024, Brian Tully signed what Brian Walsh has called and lawyers called a non-disclosure agreement. Brian Tully, I don't think, signed a non-disclosure agreement with the DOJ about an active investigation of the performance of the state police in March of 2024. No, I think he signed a NPA, non-prosecution agreement. So yeah, they know. They've known since Ken Berkowitz went to the FBI in 2022 and said, we got a real problem here because Tully's MSP unit covered for Farwell and those guys because they were running a brothel in Canton that cops patroned and seeding it with underage girls.
Yeah, and they paid. That's how they. Yeah, and they did that because out in Worcester, the detectives get an allowance. They get to use on women of the night. They get an allowance.
I don't know anything about that, but that's wild.
That came out a while too. The Sandra Birchmore thing, there was something about that, Grant. Man, my head's going like 1,000 different directions here.
That's right. Go ahead.
Listen, what if you all remember when Aiden broke the story and we're all watching and it kept getting bigger and bigger, and then all of a sudden we hear that the feds are involved because of a mix-up or something. Somebody went to an office, and the first time the feds were involved, right? What was it about?
Well, hold on, Tommy. I can answer that for you. According to the Jessica Leslie documents, the federal grand jury that went and investigated the Karen and Reed and John O'Keefe case that went from May of 2022, May 26th to be exact, through February of 2024, started, as I mentioned, on May 26, 2022. Now, Alan Jackson wasn't involved. Karen Reed hadn't been indicted for John's death. But you know what was happening around then? At least two people in the Canton Police Department, one of whom I already named, another whom shall remain unnamed, they're still there,
possibly.
Nope.
Okay.
That's the only hint you're getting out of me, went to the DOJ at the very least, maybe even put it in writing to Michael Morrissey and said, listen, Fanning's report clearing Farwell is not okay. All right. Well, that explains why a public corruption grand jury looking into the state police would be impaneled. And then they got the CDL thing. They looked into John and Karen. And you want to know the big secret? That John O'Keefe and Karen Reed grand jury, while real, the federal probe in summer of 2023, was designed to make the state police think they were under investigation for that. So when they started getting information about Farwell, the state police wouldn't realize that's what they were really investigating. It's called a backhand.
So just so the people out there in Twitter world will understand this, okay? The FBI went knocking on Jen McCabe's door. Hey, can we come in? And she says, yeah, give me 10 minutes. And they went back a second time, right, Grant? 2 visits from the FBI.
10 minutes later.
Correctly, right? I remember correctly, the FBI was investigating the investigation of Sandra Birchmore and how it related to the Reed case because of the investigators. Look
Correct.
look at the investigators now. They're all gone because that's Morrissey getting them away. You're too hot. You're too hot. You're gonna cool off in Worcester, Yuri. Good, have a nice drive. Hope you had this morning. How long do you think it took him to get to Worcester?
Yeah,
to work.
or they're the ones who cooperated, and Fanning's the only one left at CPAC because he's the
No.
target.
No,
Yeah.
Grant, when you cross that line as a trusted public official in that capacity, you're not coming back. You can't be. There's no rehab for that type of stuff.
I didn't say rehab. Why'd they take the death penalty off the table for Farwell right after a second indictment? Because he's cooperating.
Exactly. He said, I can give you Marty Kraft in the reason and the ba.
Oh, I don't know. So here's what I think happened. I think Kraft became involved in 2021 after the MSP was doing the cover-up. I think the actual cover-up was the people from Stoughton, the Stoughton Police Department.
Mm-hmm.
Because someone was going around threatening Sandra.
Time out. Didn't Stoughton Police Department go to the FBI?
No, Canton.
Canton went to the FBI.
Two
about
people.
Stoughton?
Yes, and just so you know, the Canton Police and the Stoughton Police hate each other because of this. To this day,
they do now, but they were freaking frack in the days.
Yes, but there is tension between Canton and Stoughton cops, and if you've ever wondered why, it's this.
Well, they can use Kraft as the median.
It's not even that ship has sailed. He's done. He's done.
Yeah.
They're done.
Yeah.
So his firm closed. It was in the Herald the other day. Listen, there is no reason that this should have happened. This prosecution clearly, I don't know if they ran out of money or whatever, but they needed private funds. And then, by the way, Matt McCabe's firm, I found one $16 million DOD contract for high-level IT work at Nellis. Okay, the special operations.
Yeah, I know
command.
Nellis. My father. That's White Sands Missile Range. I know. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, for the 806, he was working for. Okay, so is working for. Okay, so the it gets more wild. It might be the 86 or the 806. It gets more wild. He had contracts going back to 2009, none of which I can find.
Real well, they'd be classified.
Maybe
at least
not.
7 years. By the way, Nellis is in Vegas. By the way, I'm sorry.
Yes, it's in Nevada.
Yeah, it's right. It's right at the strip. You go to the strip and you sit and you watch all the airplanes take off. Well, it's beautiful.
Yeah, let me tell a little story about that McCarran Airport out there. So every morning at around 8 a.m, you can sit. You shouldn't do this, but you can. Nope. You can sit and watch a few planes. They have They have white liveries with a red stripe. It has no name tag on it. It has no insignia. It's called just. It has nothing. It's no whether it's the letters.
Janet. Yeah,
and that stands for Just Another Airline.
Yep.
And that is now, by the way, the Secret Service rifles, Just Another Rifle. But anyway, so yeah, they call them a jar. But anyway, that is called Janet Airlines, and it flies from McCarran to Groom Lake every single morning. Okay, they don't live at Groom Lake, not most of them. This is Nellis, which is in the similar range. But anyway, the point is, you know what Matt McCabe's company consults for? You want me to put it in lay terms? How to reduce the amount of latency between when someone pushes a button and when the person who's targeted by the bomb dies. It's called the kill chain. He reduces latency in the kill chain.
There's nothing.
That's wild.
No, that's Grant. That's just IT stuff. That's just upgrading routers. If a router can push 1 million packets a second, you want the one that can push 1.5 a second, because that 500,000 you can reallocate to specifically the kill chain. You need to know. Boom.
I'm on board with you about the technical nature of the work. Where I'm going with this is, first of all, you need to have an operational clearance to do that.
Yes.
Second of all, you need to know people in the Air Force procurement office to make sure you're getting this contract. You have to be qualified, as a hub zone business, if you want to get the guaranteed contracts and all that. You need to know what you're doing. That is not just, I want to go do federal contracting. I've been around forever. Now, add into this that Michael Morrissey retained Michael J. Sullivan. That name ring a bell? Michael J. Sullivan is representing him regarding the discussions.
Rep, wasn't he?
No, former U.S. attorney for Massachusetts.
That's and then he was. Worked for the state.
Where does he work? Well, for the feds too. Where does he work now? John Ashcroft's law firm. John Ashcroft was the former U.S. Attorney's General.
Didn't he lead the FBI and then went to the Attorney General's office?
Became the U.S. Attorney under Bush.
Yes, I remember him. He was pretty good.
So why would all these people have these connections? We're not dealing with a fight between the DOJ in Boston and the Norfolk DA. We're dealing with a fight between certain elements of the defense intelligence apparatus and the DOJ in Boston, who tried to look into very connected witnesses.
Okay, so Cooper has a question. You want to know about the vague insinuations about the FBI investigating Karen Read and Turtle Boy by Kate? That's not true. That's a lie by her. Again, what she says is usually the opposite of what's actually happening. Usually.
Yeah, and I can confirm it. So what Kate Peter was planting last night is false. She was mentioning that she was trying to either manipulate Meredith, or Meredith was just LARPing and going along with it. And she was talking about how there were 2 FBI agents that had apparently reached out, or one FBI agent that was going to reach out to Meredith. She called the guy Starling or Sterling. Yep. No, Clarice Sterling is Jodie Foster's character from Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah.
Now, last summer or 2 summers ago, when Kate claimed that an FBI agent was going to reach out to Victoria Haskin, she said the guy, and Kevin Yellow Cottage Fails went along with this. She said the guy's name was Samuel Weiner. Nope, Samuel Weinberg is Kevin Pollak's attorney character from A Few Good Men.
Right.
Kate, I know who the names of the actual FBI agents. Okay, Kate Peter is not. Aidan Carney and Karen are not being investigated by the feds. Jen McCabe, Michael Morrissey, Brian Tully, and all them are being investigated by the feds, and they're pressuring the people that Kate knows, and that's why Kate and Shark are going to war with Ann Prudy on social media, which is the stupidest thing you can do. Do you think that Adam Deutsch was just talking to Karen Read after what happened with Rachel Rollins and the Arroyo?
Yeah, she's not a prostitute. That's a whole nother situation that Aiden broke, isn't it?
Yes, but to go directly into this, it gets way more intense, because you have to realize that Aiden and Rachel Rollins worked together in 2020 to help Joe Kennedy, to help Ed Markey. Aiden knew Rayla Campbell and sent Rayla Campbell to Joe Kennedy Jr. events to help Rachel Rollins and Ed Markey. Right after that, Rachel Rollins gets a favor from the Biden White House and becomes U.S. attorney. Rachel Rollins got in trouble because she went to Andover in a government vehicle to go to a fundraiser for Dr. Joe Biden. So anyway, Rollins tries to interfere in the Arroyo and Hayden primary, gets in trouble. Levy can't have them do that again. If Karen Read was talking to Adam Deutsch, it was because Maine Justice and Levy approved it, and Kate and all them now know it because they set an obstruction trap for Jen McCabe and Proctor and all them.
And
they're freaking out.
Kate's house the second time.
Yes, and it's not just that. Listen.
Grant, I see it, you see it. These other people don't understand that. When the FBI comes to your house once, okay. When they come twice, it's bad. There's nothing good comes out of that. Ever.
And Kate, listen, when the FBI, the actual FBI agents investigating Brian Tully and all them, went around and were interviewing Sandra's friends, Kate Peter and another unnamed person illegally intercepted the FBI agent talking to the witness to find out about the probe. And when that's horrifying. It's horrifying.
Grant, do you think that they set that trap up when they sat back and they just said, they're going to think this grand jury thing is real. Let's see what they do. Because they didn't know how. Remember, Morrissey was asking prior to this, how involved are you? What are you doing? What do you want to know?
Oh, it's way more than that.
I'll send you a guy. Right? Remember that?
In December of 2023, a few months after the Farwell probe started, remember, he gets indicted of August 2024, but it took a year. Josh Levy said it started August 2023. When Brian Tully was interviewing Lindsay Gattani in December of 2023, he asked her who the targets of the federal probe were. Why did he think she would know that? Because Ada was texting Lindsay in November of 2023 saying that the feds were going to monitor what Jen McCabe turned over in Discovery to see if it was different from what the feds had because they had Jen's records.
Whoa, stop. Back up a little bit. And then people may understand why Aiden made the choice to go over there. Bradel may have knew it was a setup by the feds or knew they were involved. And at that point, just stay the hell home for anything you do. Don't go have a beer. Don't go have a meet.
Not a setup by the feds, a setup by Tully without Lindsay knowing.
Right.
The feds, I think what happened with the feds is Bradel went into court. Tom, I don't know if you were there. I was there December 26, 2023. Bradel said to Judge McCallum, Judge, we talked to the FBI and the DOJ this morning. I didn't know what that meant at the time. Now I do. Ada was helping them.
So again, Aiden's a reporter at heart. Otherwise, he wouldn't be doing what he does. You do what you love, and you don't work a day in your life. He's not working. He's loving this. So he writes this story. They're trying to pop him on these different things. They get him. And then Lindsay says she's got all this stuff that just ties it all together. Why wouldn't he go there? Like,
it wasn't that. No, it wasn't that. What happened was, no. Tully subpoenaed Lindsay on December 21st, 2023. Why is that date important? Because if you remember, Aiden was initially charged in Stoughton District Court in October of 2023. Do you know when that got bound over to Norfolk Superior Court? December 20th, 2023.
Does he know that?
Yeah. Now, you want to know something more interesting?
Yeah.
When did Lindsay get the subpoena? December 21st, 2023. Aiden knew.
It wasn't even a real subpoena, was it?
No, it was real. Let me explain. This was part of the unwitting hunting pot.
Right.
Aiden knew on December 20th, the indictment got handed up. Then his old charges got bound over to Superior Court. He knew because it became public. If Lindsay's getting a subpoena on December 21st, it can't be for the previous grand jury. There must be another one. It was real. They were going to do another. They ended up doing another one. They did. She went to it. But the point is, that's why they used a subpoena. Lindsay didn't know what they were doing. They were just like, Lindsay, you
wouldn't have no idea. Wow.
And then Lindsay was like, can I tell Aiden? And Tully was like, yes. Tully wanted her to tell him. Lindsay didn't know why. And then Aiden reacted. Nobody knew. It was Tommy. I've said the difference between pro wrestling and boxing is that in wrestling, both parties know it's a work. In boxing, like List and Ali too, sometimes only one party knows it's a work. With Lindsay and Aiden, neither of them knew it was a work.
Wow. Grant, like, I know all this is to be true, but I also know, right, that like there are certain things that are in place to keep this from happening. It doesn't get this out of control.
No,
you need to go in front of a judge with probable cause. This guy here is going to go do this. He's going to go drive a car into the Murrah building.
I wish, Tommy. It's more like the system of justice in this country really puts a lot of faith in the representations of counsel. So if you as a prosecutor, that's why Ken Mello and Robert Cosgrove were clearly taken. Cosgrove, I think, was more willing. I think Mello got taken advantage of. The point is, because remember, Mello was in the hospital when Tully leaked Lindsay's phone extraction. There's no doubt in my mind that Kate Peter was actually running the prosecution and putting words in Ken Mello's mouth. Here's the problem. When a prosecutor makes a representation to the court, it is assumed to be in good faith until proven otherwise. And it's ex parte at a grand jury. You don't get to go as the defendant. You can't be up there being like, wait a minute, like Ken Mello's doing the law wrong. Ken Mello's presenting evidence like without telling the jury that Kate was doing it. You can't do so. Of course, if you know how to fashion a legal argument in front of a grand jury, you could present something that could pass muster with a judge, survive a motion to dismiss, all because you know what to have the prosecutor say to avoid any of these challenges. The only way this shit comes out is if Kate's a moron and just tells people.
Wow.
She sent Kate sent the evidence that exposed all this, and the consequences are Rule 14 violations, discovery violations, and they tried to insulate the 2023 cases from anything that would show Kate was involved so that Aiden couldn't call Kate as a witness. That ship has sailed. It's over. You want to get one more layer deep? The only reason they charged Aiden, by the way, and my mother has been secretly talking to Kate Peter since March of 2024.
That's odd.
I think we know why.
Oh my
but you
God.
Want to? My mother told me Turtle Boy was never even really their target, which really sucks for him because that means he got tormented this whole time for the no reason. They always just wanted Karen. So that's what's going on right now. There's one last ditch effort to get Karen. And since they can't, use Aiden flipping because his charges are going to get dismissed, their plan was to just get Aiden to say whatever they needed on the stand against Karen and then say, we'll drop your charges. But he's going to get them dismissed now. So now what happens? Well, if they want to indict Karen, they need someone close to her, Tommy.
Yeah, and there you go.
They better get someone like Meredith.
Wow.
Oh, I don't know. What about JFK? What about James Jackson? What about Crawford? What about Nan? Am I getting close yet, Tommy?
I'd love to comment, but I'm choosing not to comment because I'm not being mentioned because I haven't done anything wrong.
I was not saying that. I was saying,
I'm just
aren't
saying
the
in
names?
general. I've tried to keep my nose clean because I just kind of do what I do, and that whole stuff, it's a waste of time, dead end road, and it's just not.
But isn't that might be why they're doing it, Tommy? They
Listen,
don't want.
Oh yeah, I mean it makes perfect sense. They can lash out and then do whatever they want with no repercussions.
There are repercussions. It divides Karen and Aiden, which protects Kate, Tully, Jen McCabe, and everything we just talked about. It's targeted. That's what I'm here to say.
That email. I can't believe that email though, Grant.
I couldn't believe when my mother.
Time out. What's the date on that email, Grant? What was the date?
The first one was September 2023. The one you had was November 2023.
Was Mello on the hospital Wi-Fi, or did he receive that at his house?
No. So Mello's hospitalizations got progressively worse as you get towards April of 2024. That's why Cosgrove took over. Mello wasn't in the hospital right away. He got progressively more ill.
Well, he's well enough to respond.
Well, but the point is, yes, he was. But do you think he was well enough to stop Brian Tully from releasing Lindsay's phone extraction to help Kate? No, he wasn't.
Yeah.
Because they played him. How much you want to bet he needed money and help?
Of course he did. He took it. And now he's not going to say a word. Because why? What are they going to do? Come after him? Of all people? Come on.
The bigger question is how much can you insult someone's intelligence and integrity like Ken Mello before they're just like, fuck those guys? That's what I'd be asking myself if I were them.
I agree with that. Yeah. Real quick, everybody. That's Grant's Venmo up on the screen. Grant is self-supporting, as you know, and any little bit helps. So if you have a little bit and you want to send it, that's the Venmo to send it to. I'm sure he's very much appreciative. I mean, he does a lot of work. So, I mean, this is work. This isn't really a hobby. This is Grant. This is going to be interesting if we come back in 6 months. Everything that you report about today, that's just like that stupid email that I keep pulling up. That's going to be so last year. It's like we'll be on to something else. Like, oh yeah, well, so what, man?
But it's all building blocks. Someone asked me, Grant, why did your perspective evolve on all this? Well, because it's like the movie Crash, if you've ever seen it, or James Joyce's Finnegan's Wake, if you like literature. It's one moment in time builds on itself. And then you look back, you get new information. Oh, that's a little more clear now. And then it builds and it builds. Everything is interconnected. It's one looping circle where pieces of information build on each other. And then you have the full picture. So I have a lot of sympathy for people who try to come into this, cannot understand it. That's how these people operate. Look how easy it is to just throw yourself out there and say, I'm free Karen Reed. I'm free Turtle Boy. I'm from Australia. Oh, really? Are you? You're saying you are? Are you sure? Perfect.
We don't know any of the, I know the people that I stood shoulder to shoulder with. You know the people that were there. I know the people that were there. These other people, like the Australia people, like I know Aussie. Like I have communication. She's great. The other people, I don't know them. I have nothing to say, so I don't even know what they say. Does that make sense? Because I don't care. It doesn't. It just.
And then you can have a very eerie situation where people who are not from here, but who know Kate Peter, are trying to tell the Free Karen Read movement that they can't support Aiden, or that Aiden can't support Karen. Bullshit. That's fake. Yeah. Only Kate wants that. I know what I'm looking at. I wasn't born yesterday.
Right. You know. And again, any money raised for Karen is a good thing. So if there's people that have issues with that, then I'm sorry, but any money that lady gets, she needs.
Likewise, you know, I want to just tell people, just to show you how it's never what it looks like on the surface. I was doing a random interview with Lindsay like a few weeks ago, Lindsay Gattani, and it came up out of nowhere. Myself and the host tried to get her to tell us, because the audience was asking what her donation links were, right? Now, she could have said, no one would have minded. In fact, they wanted to know if she just said, okay, here's how you can do it. You know what she said instead? No, donate to Aiden instead, because he's the only one that can fight this. So see how it goes around in a circle? You would never, first of all, expect us to get to that point. But then also, if Lindsay's saying that about Aiden, and Aiden's saying it about Karen, okay, and then Karen says it about Aiden, it just goes in a circle because people are fighting the same bad men.
Right. And I just say to this, if you're listening, not that it matters, but if you're listening, put yourself in Aiden's shoes. Wouldn't you want to hire Tim Bradle? Wouldn't you want to hire Mark Bedro? I mean, those are two people that get it. They get it. And they have a serious chance of fixing this or at least doing something. Anyone else doesn't. Bedro's not from around here. He's working Pro Hawk Region. He don't care whose toes he steps on. He's going to get up there and say, Judge, you're corrupt. You can email right here. The email says Mello right here. See Mello?
Get ready for that argument Friday. It's in 9 a.m. Yeah, I thought it was 2 p.m., but it's 9 a.m. in Suffolk, downtown, Tommy.
Yep, I know. I can't wait.
But the point is, get ready for that, because Betero, first of all, I think is pretty entitled to submit more moving papers now because of everything that's come out.
How come the problem don't answer him?
Well, they don't. So the big
have to, but
well, let's talk about the timeline here, because one of the biggest issues is, was there withheld discovery from Aiden about Kate Peter? That's like the biggest issue in whether the 2023 cases can go forward. And the reality is, there's proof. Robert Cosgrove spent 10 months from October, maybe August of 2024 through July of 2025, searching 5,000 pages of emails between Kate Peter, Ken Mello, and Brian Tully. And he spent 20 hours of the taxpayers' money at $4.50 an hour, I'm sure, redacting it. Wasn't that nice of him? He didn't do that for Lindsay.
Grant, the 5,000 pages, there were 4,888 that were blank.
I didn't get there yet. So on July, Tommy, you know this better than I do. So
the judge allows that. Dude, I'd be pissed if I was paying for them copies.
Wow. Betero was pissed because what happened was on July 8, 2025, to be specific, Cosgrove's like, hey, Mr. Betero, I got 5,000 pages of emails for you. Aren't you thrilled? Mr. Betero writes back a week later and is like, I am Mark Betero, and you did not give me 5,000 pages. You gave me like 1,000 pages. Why want my documents? Here's where it gets worse. Cosgrove, over the month of July, says, I'm going to personally go through all 5,000 pages. And then he does. And then he's like, okay, this time I got it right. And he sends it back to Betero. All right. You'd think, okay, that makes Cosgrove look somewhat decent. Nope. Screwed him. Why? November 2025. Lindsay Gattani comes forward and is like, hey, so Mr. Cosgrove, you know those 5,000 pages of emails you spent 10 months and went through twice? Why didn't you include this February 14th email from Kate Peter to Ken Mello instructing Mello on how to keep Aiden in jail and dangerousness? Oh, you violated Rule 14 because you're not a towel.
Busted, caught red-handed with this email people.
Oh, this gets so much worse because then
Busted.
Bettero already had them busted with the February 14th one. So, but that again, if you're talking February 14th, that was keeping Aiden in jail and dangerousness. Why is this so bad? There's only 2 sets of cases open left for Aiden. The 2024 indictments are gone because Kate deleted the damn evidence that Tully sent to the fucking grand jury because she's a fucking moron.
Go to jail until you produce it. Thank you, my dear. Next in line. Who's next? What do we have?
It should be obstruction. It should be obstruction, but moving on.
It is, Grant. It's willful, intentional.
It's fucking obstruction of justice. But to go to the next point, this email going back in time, because remember, there's only the 2023 indictments for Aiden left related to Jen McCabe, the 2025 window shop, we'll call it the 50-cent window shop indictments. Aiden wanted to he was window shopping.
Right? Yeah.
He was buying T-Rex action figures.
He wanted to know if the pizza was good. He was asking a question. T-Rex answered.
He thought it
happens.
He thought it was a store where there were T-Rex action figures. He was just window shopping. It's a harmless crime. All right. So anyway, Aiden's at the window shop in 2025, but Cosgrove has said if the 2023 cases get dropped, then the 2025 cases don't go forward. So let's just ignore the 2025 cases and let's focus on the 2023 cases. That is an email where Kate Peter shows that she was involved in the handling of evidence in the 2023 cases. The second Aiden puts Kate Peter on his witness list, whether for a voir dire, pretrial hearing, or as a defense witness. By the way, people are like, he'll never do that. She'll get to say whatever she wants. Bro.
He wants her up on that stand. Absolutely.
Yes, and let me explain this to someone. I'm not a lawyer. This is not legal advice. If you, as Aiden Carney, call Kate Peter as a defense witness, the way it works is, yes, technically Bettero or Bradel. I don't know who would do it. Probably, I bet they have to fight over that one. Who's going to do the Kate Peter direct? But it's not a direct. You might start by saying, hello, what is your name? Okay, you have to start with a who, what, when, where, or why question if she's your witness. Yep. But if Kate Peter does what you know she will do, which is start being an idiot, all she has to do is be hostile 2 or 3 times. Your Honor, I'd like to move to have this witness classified as a hostile witness. Boom, you can ask her cross questions, yes or no answers on direct. That's what will happen. She will start fighting them right away.
How many times you allowed to say my lawyer's rescheduled, my lawyer's not here, my lawyer? How many passes do you get, Grant? Is there like a courtesy number of you get 3 passes and then you come in front of me?
No, but that's not what's going on here. The real question is, you don't have to have a voir dire evidentiary hearing with Kate Peter to have these charges go away. No. Oh, God bless the person who sent a Venmo donation. You are a super towel. No, it can be something as simple. Sorry, what was the question, Tommy? I was talking about an evidentiary violation.
I don't even remember because I just can't believe that says Catherine Peter and that says Mello. She sent an email to Mello. I can't believe she's involved in this whole thing. And there's no reason why she's not some expert on fucking cyber stalking. She's not some expert on Turtle Boy. She just hates them. That's it.
It was free labor, maybe not free, paid labor outsourced to Jen McCabe. Who
paid her?
I would guess Jen McCabe. But let me get back to this, because if it were just a pretrial voir dire, maybe it wouldn't be a big deal. But because Kate, they could get around it and they could argue they don't need to have it, whatever. You can't get around Aiden calling her. It's a right. He has a right to do it. She's not some random person on the street. This is all material. Also, you said Kate getting paid. Remember, Tommy, that Chick-fil-A parking lot story?
Yeah.
I've been telling you that story, the same story for 2 years.
You told me a while ago. And Grant, every time you say it, it stays exactly the same. Not that
That's what happened.
It's just people got to realize that happened because you don't remember things unless they happen.
I'm telling you,
you're a factual person. So, like, I can't see you putting stuff together to end up there, Grant. So I had nothing but I believe 100% of it, really.
Yeah, and I'll tell you,
no reason to doubt it.
And she said it to me. I was just so oblivious at the time. They give me the money in cash so that it won't be able to be traced. Okay, there you go. She got a green thank you card with yellow lettering, gold lettering, white on the inside, one like black word thank you, but nothing written. It's like 4 or 5 hundreds, probably like 5 to 7 50s, and way more 20s. And she just showed it to me. It was clearly like, here's what's on offer. Now, you want to know what's wild? Christy Citroni, in an effort to play a double agent, was the one who confirmed that it was one of the McCabe and Albert's family members that sent that money to Kate.
Oh,
Now, in the last 12 hours, we find out Christy was running 2 fake accounts, Arthur, and what is it? Let me get you the name. Hold on. It was the wife is the one that actually nails it. So it was Arthur Sargento and Millie Sargento. Both of them have been railing on Aiden for 6 months.
wow.
Millie is Christy's basically mother's name, who's connected to Marty Kraft. It was Christy the whole time. She's been a Kate person and a Kraft person and a McCabe the whole time.
And she was friends with Jason.
Yes,
Who was friends with Meredith, who got everything directly from
We got
Aiden's
him.
computer.
We got him.
She had unfettered access. You realize that if he took a shower, she would have full access to anything in his house.
Yeah,
His
now you
phone, his computer, everything.
now you understand why there was so much hatred for Lindsay. No one ever expected Lindsay would come into Aiden's life. Meredith and Deanna were at the Halloween party, Tommy, in 2023. Deanna has PI in her email address. Meredith was supposed to be the plant. Aiden was supposed to pick her right then. He couldn't because Lindsay was in the way.
Lindsay showed up there.
So Meredith and all that. Remember, Jason Broyles showed up. By the way, I think I'm moving away from my theory that the Roccos were involved. They're not. I think what happened was the Broyles targeted the Roccos. You know why? In the fall of 2023, he showed up to work on the billboard with them using his real name.
Yeah.
Okay, then he goes away and comes
He and Nick
back.
raised like 5,000 in a half hour for that billboard.
He was monitoring you two. And then he comes back as Haley, pretending to be pro Turtle Boy, but really he was a Kate person the whole time. And Kate knew he was Haley. Kate sent him to help you with the billboard. They've been monitoring you while they were following you. I know some of you.
I know they're following me. They definitely were following. I know the pickup truck. I have a picture of the front of the pickup truck that was following me.
Oh, it was way more than that. Tommy, do you remember the day you met with the Canton police chief before your 24 hours? All right. So now I promise you, I was not following you, but you know how I would tell you, like, oh, I look for the cheapest weed. So I had gone to Brockton because In Good Health is down there. They sell their ounces for like $60 if you can get it on a good day. It's the cheapest you can pay. So I was down in Brockton that day and I'm coming up and I came back the 24 split. So I got to spend a little bit of time on 93, whatever, south or north, and I got to go up 128 north. Mm-hmm. Tommy, I saw you at exit 29 that day. And I want you to remember this moment distinctly. You were on the right side of the highway taking the exit to Dedham. I wasn't going to wave at you, but your car is distinct. You were driving the car that has like a window that's like in the door.
It's an 85. It's an 8060 300ZX. You don't see them anymore. It's you can't miss me.
So therefore, I have a photographic memory. I knew it was you, and I was in the far left lane. Looked over to the right, saw Tommy. Oh, I don't want to beep at him or anything. That would be a little weird and creepy. He might think I'm following him when I was just by happenstance behind you. Tommy, wait till you hear what happens next. I'm in the left lane going 65, maybe 60, okay, up that part there, because it's a little dangerous near Dedham. Even in the left lane, you don't need to go faster than 60.
Right.
Silver undercover MSP, black undercover MSP, 2 SUVs, cut across 4 lanes of traffic from behind you and light me up to troll me. They go up to like 95, turn on the blue, not the sirens, just the blue and white.
Yes, blues,
my heart fucking jumps. I move over, of course. I'm not fucking speeding. That was fucking Tully or the CPAC unit fault. They tailed you until you took the exit at 29A. I watched them because they trolled me and lit me up. Immediately, I was like, fuck you, Brian Tully.
So listen, 2 nights ago, right? I go up the street to get something and there's a truck behind me again. I'm like, all right. So I go take a left, I take another left, take another left, and take another left. And the fucking truck, wouldn't you know, he's behind me, the same dude. If you take 4 lefts, you're doing a complete circle. So yeah.
I'm telling you, Nate, I know
still people following me. I know that as a fact, so I don't even question it anymore.
Yeah, and I know that they got to my own mother, Liz Proctor, Michael Proctor's wife. His uncle has been coming around for a year and a half, as soon as Proctor's phone came out, which, by the way, Walsh got stabbed right after he got them. And did you ever wonder, why do Rosemary Scapiccio and Joe Krowski both have connections to Hank Brennan? And why does Joe Krowski have a connection to Kate Peter? Have we considered that maybe every lawyer who got access to Michael Proctor's phone, except for Betterow and Brado, are compromised?
Krowski, the lawyer that was in and out at the beginning of the trial, talking to this one, talking to the court reporters, and
the one who got access. The one who got access to Michael Proctor's phones because he works with Rosemary Scapiccio on the Walsh. And have you considered that every lawyer except for Brado and Betterow that got access to Michael Proctor's phone is actually compromised? And have you considered that when Larry Tipton, the one public defender who wasn't compromised, got access to them, his client immediately got stabbed in the Dedham County jail?
That was a little too quick for my liking.
And then
it took Whitey out immediately.
Yeah, but and then exactly, and then at Hazleton, and then suddenly Tipton's like, "Oh, we're not going to call Proctor." Yeah, I know exactly what happened. My mother started retaliating against me as soon as I started calling out Proctor. They were okay with me talking about Birchmore. They didn't love it. By the way, I have had more support, and people are like, "You're doing this for support." No, I'm doing this because I've always said what I believed. And the Kate Peter people and the Tully people always hated me because I wouldn't shut up about Birchmore.
Right.
You remember this, Tommy, because people
we had long talks. People don't even realize when I was muted at the court, halftime was talking to you about this stuff, about this, about that. Birchmore is and the sad part is the family's going to get paid out. They're going to disappear. They're not going to say another word about it because they can't, and we'll never hear a word about it.
Maybe.
They have her phone. They still won't give up the freaking phone.
Yes, maybe. But I also just the way that this all played out, as soon as I started, like Kate Peter and her people were always sabotaging me. They would claim to like be supporting me, but they never actually gave me any help. They like loved watching me suffer because they knew I was onto them. They knew I was going to support Lindsay. If I found out they fucked with her, I immediately went to destroy them.
Right.
So, and it's not just about her. It's about, I happened to see them do it to Lindsay first person. So therefore I knew they could do it to anyone. But the point is, as soon as the Proctor stuff came up, the phone, that's when my mother turned on me. She started, never had she like called me the R word before for being autistic. Never had she said like, oh, like autistic people are embarrassing and like your cannabis use is embarrassing and like you need to not do your YouTube commentary, like etc. Now, what was horrifying is she just stopped. Like she tried to sandbag me. She never paid the last tuition bill that she promised in writing to pay. So I never got my degree. She took the car away that I was using to go to work, the new job I just started that is dependent on that car. She started threatening me with criminal charges after I beat her in housing court. And what do I find out? Going back to March of 2024, Kate and my mom had been talking. And my mom's old law firm is who the McCabe's and Alberts approached to try to be their lawyer. They couldn't afford it. And
I remember that. I remember that part, right?
Yeah.
That was again, that's just a snippet we knew, Grant. We didn't know why.
Yes,
and why.
Yes, and then Yuri Buchanan retained Brody Hardoon, Perkins and Keston, my mom's old firm, in Karen's case, and Dylan Haldeman in Lindsay and Aiden's case retained her old firm. My mom was spying on Lindsay and I, not telling me, working with Kate, and Kate and her friends are taking advantage of my elderly mother who is not doing well because her father just died and her husband just died, and they're taking advantage of her to have them buy. When I was homebound,
Grant, that's wrong what they did to you. That's just a.
Tommy, it got so bad that when I was homebound in the hospital, I think I like threw out my back or had some collapse or something a year or two ago. They knew ahead of time that I was going to be a problem. They had her go in my room as I'm bedbound and take pictures of me struggling to like keep it clean so that when this all went down, they could be like, oh, we're going to release it. And I was like, fuck you, release it. I'll sue you for invasion of privacy. I have no loyalty.
Well, Grant, I tell you, a lot of people have noticed, a lot of people talking. You seem to be in a much better place, but wherever you are now, you seem to be like the chains are off, Grant. Like you're just sprouting a new person. You're not held back. That makes sense.
Not manipulated. No, Tommy, I was manipulated. Not
Yeah,
like, and you
you're
know
not
me.
now. You're not now. You're a different Grant. You know what I
Yes,
mean? Like you've
and
broken
you,
them chains. So
and you might say, and a lot of people might say, Grant, you are clearly very analytically intelligent. How did these people manipulate you? Well, Tommy, you saw it. They made it into like this, like Karen had to be very evil and Aiden had to be very evil, and I wouldn't even listen to the alternative.
Grant, unless people were there, they wouldn't understand. Like at the very beginning, pre-trial stuff, like the pre-trial stuff. That's wild in itself. And we were just scratching our heads back then, going, "That's not how it." But okay, like maybe things change. I don't know. Like I haven't done law in 25 years, so maybe things. Nope, they were just corrupt,
Right,
bad.
and for someone like me, as you know, I was coming in there from the perspective of like, okay, so the powers that be, like my parents were both prosecutors in Middlesex for Scott Harshbarger, etc.
Yep, remember him?
Yeah, and I think my dad actually worked on the 95 Prince Street task force to get the Angelos, but he never told me. He just kind of hinted at it one time. But anyway, the point is, so I was always told, like, not even told, like everybody, it was just you follow the rules. Like they were so ethical. Like not my mother as much, but my father. There were some settlements he never told me about. He was like, that was confidential, Grant. I can't tell you about that, but I'm very happy that we can go to France next summer. Okay, Dad. Very good to know.
Yeah.
So anyway, the point is, my dad was very ethical. So I always assumed people like the state police and prosecutors played it by the book because I would play it by the book. All right. Well, when you go into it from that perspective and have to be disillusioned because like almost against your will, because you got all these people around you that know Kate Peter that are manipulating you or that know the Alberts and whatever, lying to me that Karen's sister stopped talking to her because of the charges when that was not true.
Right.
Stuff like that, like manipulation over and over again, like surrounding me with people who I thought were friendly and my friends, but were in reality just controlling me. And they got to my own mother. So if they can do that, they can do it to anyone.
When you started talking about that, now I just Grant, it was hard for me to read, but it was actually good for me to read because you were able to see it, you know, and you did something about it. So, man, again, what a road you've traveled. Do you think this goes back? I think this goes back to when they executed Justin Root and they shot him 31 freaking times. The Boston. It was Boston cops and the state police out of the Milton barracks that shot Justin. And
Proctor was involved.
And so wasn't Yuri. Them two, I think, were involved. And like, it was a bad shoot. It wasn't a good shoot. Like it was not justified. And they signed off on it. So Boston owed the statey. So yes,
and it goes in circles everywhere. If you look at Trooper Enrique Delgado, he was a victim's advocate in Worcester. You don't think he crossed some police based on what he saw done to victims?
Well, he did. Think of the stuff he went that couldn't get freaking prosecuted. Yeah, we're investigating. You can't even mention it. It's after the feds are in it. You can't do nothing. Yeah, it happens.
Yeah. So imagine you're these people and you're very used to answering only to God. And you're confronted with first Karen and Alan and David. But, all right, sometimes wealthy defendants, the system isn't entirely not used to that. Okay, then add in Aiden. Okay, now you really got to adapt. You can't just can't just do your regular thing. Maybe you infiltrate the Free Karen Reed and Turtle Boy movements, though. That's, it's ingenuitive. You would get that, like, maybe like some people were informants, like say Jason Broyles had money issues, or say Kate ran a predator hunter network and would like get information on some of them and then get them to do things for her. Maybe you had like some state informants, like who were just like, maybe Meredith's ex knows James Galanis, who's a Canton cop. Like maybe Meredith had her own trouble. You know what sheep dipping is, Tommy? Not in the tech concept, not like sandboxing, but sheep dipping.
Galanis.
Yeah, Canton cop.
What's his first name?
James.
How old is he?
I don't know, but he's friends with Meredith's ex.
That's a very unique name, and I know a Galanis, and I don't. Okay.
Oh, it gets more wild than that. So sheep dipping, Tommy. Sheep dipping is where in like in your world, like computers, you might sandbox a file.
Yeah.
Run it in a VM machine, virtual
Mhm.
machine.
Yeah.
That's called sheep dipping. It comes from Scotland, where you have to take the sheep and put them in a like bath to make them not parasites or whatever the hell you do if you're a sheep farmer. I don't know
Right.
what the hell.
Kills all the bugs.
Okay, so you get the point. It has a real name. It's not just some random term. It's a thing.
Listen,
Now,
on the sheep thing, I've been to Scotland, so I know something about sheep. You know what they do? It's freaking beautiful. Every male over there, every male sheep, they put this dye pack on its belly. Each male has a different color. So you can say, hey, the red one got that female, the blue one got that one. That one's got a rainbow, so that one's been around the herd a couple times. So that they can tell the offspring of the sheep. That's just... Oh, you muted.
oh, that's very smart. So to the sheep dipping, that's my cough button.
Yeah.
The sheep dipping, though. So say you have in the CIA, like a guy from the 81st Airborne or like some like SEAL or whatever it is, and you need him to go to the CIA. Okay, well, you can't have the American military fighting in foreign conflicts. You literally cannot. It's not appropriate. I agree with that comment.
Yeah,
F the autism
100%.
critics. So what they do is they sheep dip them, Tommy. They put them in a private contracting firm, and then they're not in the military anymore, but they are in the military. Okay, state informant, state police need them for a contract. Okay, well, let's sheep dip them over to Marty Kraft's firm. Kate and Pam Friedman can be the handler. Tully and Yuri will keep an eye on him. Yuri used to have a Yankee White clearance. Yuri knows what sheep dipping is. We can run these people. And by the way, it's an online movement, so we kind of got to, it's novel. Let's pitch this to the bosses as like a unique operation where we infiltrate an online movement, and then we'll get intel from them, and then we can put charges on people that don't play ball, like traditional stuff. We know how to do this. That's something you can sell up the chain.
And they have the network behind them to do it.
Yeah, and the private money from the McCabe's to do it. So you had a private money subsidizing a public prosecution. That's the scandal. That's what this was all about. And if you look at Meredith's connection to Canton, Tommy, why did Aiden go to CF McCarthy's on the night of the window incident? Meredith's parents gave him and her a gift certificate. That's weird because that was after his charges. They gave her that gift certificate in December of 2024. And you might be wondering, that night when they were at Hillsides, a known cop bar, Meredith got upset about the Apple Watch. She walked over to a group of guys. Wouldn't you know it? They've known Meredith and her parents for 30 years.
You can't tell from the interaction? Or was she acting the whole time?
No. She really knew them for 30 years. She was hiding this all from Aiden.
Right.
Yeah. It looked like she was going over there just to tease Aiden, but it was not. She knew those dudes because she'd been around and she was clearly planted in Aiden's circle. Now, Tommy, to get back to what you were talking about earlier, this is how I figured this out. Let me guess. Let me understand this. Meredith gets Aiden's entire phone extraction, which, by the way, only she would know exists. Okay.
Well, yep.
Because nobody just has an extraction of their phone. Aiden had it for defense purposes. Only Meredith would know that exists. And then she gets the recording of Karen and Aiden, and then immediately is exfiltrated from the operation and breaks up with him and uses that as cover to go to Kate Peters' person, Koala, who knows 9 vodkas, who's a Kate Peter person as well, while Koala pretends to be Free Karen Reed while releasing derogatory information from Meredith that helps Kate divide Aiden and Karen. Sound about right?
It does, but stop. Grant, if that's an op, right? And they run Meredith at Aiden, which I can see happening, okay? If that happens, there has to be a handler. There's got to be somebody calling the shots. I don't think they would give her the if it was an op, I don't think they'd give her the operational freedom to do what she wanted to do.
Pam Friedman.
We got what we needed. Get out of here. You just go. Why is she continuing on though?
Because it's
Kate just trying to make things worse for herself.
No, it's the final part of the plan. Listen, Tommy, Aiden was the leak was the genius because it made Karen distrustful of Aiden. who immediately tries to cozy up to Karen. If Karen doesn't know Meredith knows Kate, Karen will be like, hey, Meredith, come on over. And then Meredith just preys on that hatred of Aiden. Same with Broyles, same with Koala, same with JFK, same with James Jackson, same with Crawford. Prey on the hatred of Aiden until Karen lets someone close that she shouldn't, because they need to indict Karen before Deutsch comes in. Oh, and by the way, how interesting would it be if the real reason they're seating people around Karen is to get an October surprise and try to make Adam Deutsch look corrupt to prevent him from winning, because Cade and her people know if Deutsch gets elected, it's ball game, and he is going to get elected.
Listen, I already let it be known that I will absolutely do whatever I can to help that man win in Norfolk County. If I got to knock on every door in Norfolk County, that's what I'll do. I told the person to be to have it. You'll see more of that coming up, but I've been busy. But
that's what's going on. So, and it's failing because in the past week, Tommy, I exposed Pat Turo as close to Kate. I exposed Dag Nabbit as close to Kate. I exposed Christy as close to Kate. I exposed Meredith as close to Kate. I exposed Jason Broyles as close to Kate. There's no one left. Anybody you get close to Karen, I'm just going to run out there being like, hey, Karen, this person knows Kate Peter. Here's the proof. So they're fucked.
Hopefully Aiden can now stop being on the defense and go on the offense.
Which requires doing what Emily C has been talking about, which is seeing that there's a common enemy here and that the people trying to divide Karen and Aiden have no interest in helping either of them. They are fake Karen Reed people, and they only want to help Kate and Tully. So just don't fall for it.
That kind of makes sense, doesn't it? Everyone, like, you're making just too much sense, Grant. Like, it all checks the boxes.
And today, just as a little preview, so you have me for a few more minutes. At 2 p.m., I will be doing a space on X. All right, I'll be opening it up. We'll have a chance to sort of break this all down. The Kate Peter people are not allowed. What they've been doing is a lot of spaces on X where they have someone who looks like they're independent, but actually who knows Kate running the space, so they can do PR for her. And Dad gave it away.
Like that thing the other day with the Galera and there was people on it yelling. The lady she just did a space, and all of a sudden she's inviting people that she doesn't even know.
So Galera fell for it because he had been off X for a while, but because and anyone would fall for it. To navigate the diplomatic nuance of it, you have to stay on it all on X all the time, or you won't know who is who. You have to background check in real time the alt accounts. You have to monitor them, know who they are, because oftentimes what they're presenting as ostensibly is not who they are. So that's why they all hate it when I do a space. Try to come on a space with me and sea lion or act in bad faith and be like, okay, let's do it. Let's do it.
Yeah. No, they can't win that one. And they've tried, Grant. I've watched and listened, and they've tried, but you just shut them right down. All right, listen, let's cut this right now and give you some time to get ready for your spaces. Grant, I can't thank you enough for the conversation. As always, it's been a pleasure. And if anyone that's watching gets just a little bit more information, good. That's all it is, just a little bit more information. Use it as you will. That's all.
Yeah, and I'm sorry we didn't get to talk to Boston Mike. My prayers are with him. Thank you for the time.
I called him. He's like, I'm going to clean off cars. And I'm like, oh, I guess he's all right. He's doing good. So, yeah, Mike's been busy today. So we all keep him in our prayers. Joey Beggar Donuts loves Mike. He keeps sending me messages. Hope Mike's doing great. Send my love. So there's a lot of people that are sending a lot of love for the man. So he'll be back very soon.
Good. All right, Tommy, we'll see each other again soon.
Grant,
have a great rest of your day. God bless all your supporters.
Absolutely. Thank you, Grant. All right. So that was pretty freaking awesome, wasn't it? That was, I don't know. Where do I stand with Nan? I don't get it. Like, I stand by myself. It's kind of obvious, I think. I'm me. I'm not going to change who I am. Sorry. But that's who it is. You get what you get. And you guys know that by now. So I can't thank you all for being here. Real quick, let me just share this again real quick, because this is kind of important to me and you guys. Where'd it go? All right. That was weird. Hold on a second here. Cancel that. That's strange. Hold on a second, everybody. Please hold on. Please hold tight. Nope. All right. So I tried to put Grant's Venmo back up on the screen. So, Mary, I'm glad you're with us. I hope you're doing good. I pray everything is good with that. So, yeah. Yeah. So yeah, if you guys wanna I download. Let me download it again. If you guys want to donate to Grant, please do. If you want to donate to me, please do. I have something I have to read real quick here. But yeah, I mean, we're all trying to do the right thing. We're trying to bring you stuff, information, content. Here you go. That's Grant's Venmo right there. If you guys got a couple bucks, please send it to Mr. Grant. He's behind the 8 ball, we'll say. He got put in a position that I think none of us want to be in. But he's handling it like a freaking awesome champ. So awesome. Mary, let me know, okay, dear? And you're in my prayers again, Miss Mary. Yeah. It's a Cybo's emo, right? Or a towel? No, it's not a towel. Towel comes from South Park, by the way. And that's a whole thing in itself. And you got to see if you know the humor in it, you do. So it's pretty cool. All right, everybody. It's been a great show. Thank you all for being here. It's a lot of information. I know it's a lot of information. It's a lot. And unfortunately, there's more coming. So buckle up. We'll see what happens, right? In 6 months, we can look back at this and say, okay, we were wrong about this. This we totally got wrong. This we got kind of right. This is dead on. So it's all we can do. Try and figure out what happens. And, I'm not, you guys, the chat, yours. You guys, that's your chat. I'm not getting involved in your chat. You guys deserve that. You guys own it. It's yours. Chat. Talk what you want to talk about. If you ask me questions, I'd be more than happy to answer. But this is awesome. Joey 3 Sticks. Grant, the feds takes action, cover up. Do you think the discovery case leads to what happened to John Q? Yes. Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. Remember, the feds were investigating the investigators of the Sandra Birchmore case and how it impacts and it interferes or even correlates to the Karen Read case. So, yeah, my Cash App is CPU TOM or $ CPU Tom. The Venmo, CPU Tom. Email, CPU Tom at Gmail. And yeah, they're investigating the investigators. And they've all been rehomed. Some have been let go and some are still waiting for some attention. So, with that said, I wish you all a happy day. Happy Martin Luther King Day. It is also, you guys, it's a famous day. Let me find it. You guys don't understand what today is. You guys know what today is? Tell me you know what today is. Anybody? Try and find it real quick. Let me just do this. I'm going to tell you what day it is. You're going to be like, oh, yeah. Maybe. Should. Creating an AI summary for you. Come on. Here we go. Show you guys. This is what today is, by the way. It's Martin Luther King Day. Also, it's the tuck rule day. Today's the day when Tom Brady went to throw that ball. He pumped, went to tuck it, boom, incomplete pass. Have a nice day. So today's the day it happened. Back in 2002, the tuck rule became a thing back then. So against the Patriots and the Raiders, critics argued it undermined the spirit of the game. They're calling catches interceptions and interceptions not catches, and yeah, there's all sorts of crazy stuff going on. Either way, if there's anything you guys need or want, whatnot, send me an email and I'll see what I can do. And with that said, you all have an absolutely wonderful day. And to the people that are still following me, try faster next time. Slowpoke. I will talk to you guys later. You all have an absolutely wonderful day. I love you all. Bye-bye. And thank you guys for being here.
Cold mornings, cracked pavement, courthouse steps. He's there before sunrise while the world still rests. No cameras needed, no spotlight glare. Just a man with a purpose, always standing there. Facing the crowd, but the fight in his veins. Truth in his hands, pushing through the rain. Karen sees him, she knows what it means when you've got boots on the ground and you fight for your dreams. Boots on the ground, day after day, standing for truth in the hardest way. No fame, no glory, just a promise kept. Tom CPU, you never left. He don't ask for credit, don't ask for praise. Just fight in the good fight in 1,000 ways. When the cameras fade and the voices die, he's still right there, never asking why. He's got a handshake that you can trust, eyes that don't blink when it comes to us. Karen smiles because she knows it's true. She's got a soldier and his name's CPU. Boots on the ground, day after day, standing for truth in the hardest way. No fame, no glory, just a promise kept. Tom CPU, you never left. When the courthouse is empty and the crowd's gone home, Tom's still walking, he's never alone. 1,000 steps, 1,000,000 prayers, because justice don't sleep and neither does he care.